Good morning, everybody. So good to see you. I'll give everyone a couple moments to arrive and just to make sure that I am streaming so you can all see me. There we go. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. Apollo's out there looking out the window. And this is a very temporary setup, as you can see. I'm in the throes of moving in, and the two cameras that I got overheated. So we're using my webcam. This is not ideal, but I'm working with it for today. But it kind of reminds me of the importance of just being present. We show up to hang out. And it's kind of like if you're having a bad hair day, but you're with your friends, it doesn't matter. It's the sort of community. And that's why I show up every Sunday. I know that's why you show up also for the messages. And that's not going to change today. Plus, this is proof that you can move during a Mercury retrograde, but it is challenging. You have to add in extra time and have backup plans, which I did. So anyway, hopefully you can all hear me. I did put on some echo cancellation on this mic because there was a little bit of reverb. So again, I'm aware of some of the tech issues. We're going to do live channeling like we did last week. And because I don't have my graphics ready for today, let me just break it down if you're brand new and just tuning in live today. So the way that this works is there are about 3 or 4 major categories that we look at. We start off with what I am receiving right before I show up. And for everybody that's present, then we'll take a look at a 7-day granular forecast, helping us kind of like see what the highlights and lowlights of the week will be. And then we get into elemental breakdown. And then after that, we do a special topic. And today it is the Hermit, messages from your higher self, which is great because this is kind of like, for me, a chance to channel even more. Okay. So yeah, blue skies, beautiful view behind me. I still need to figure out where I'm going to place the table and everything, but today I just wanted to show up, let you know I'm still here. It's been a challenging couple of weeks, but I'm here. So anyway, let's get going here. I'm going to start with channeled messages. This morning, what Spirit gave to me when I was sleeping, when I woke up, as I got ready to come to this lovely collective reading was just make it work. Kind of like what you hear, was that Tim Gunn? But I also saw the image of the magician as a part of this. So we have it within our ability to make the most of any situation, even if it isn't ideal. And one of the things that also came to mind today is the importance of focusing on what matters. So the magician has 4 elements, really sort of bountiful spread of tools in front of him, but sometimes that can be distracting because it's kind of like, ooh, shiny object, shiny object, shiny object, right? So I think the important thing here to do is to figure out, or sometimes it can be distraction too, just focusing on what doesn't matter. So today, pick one thing, do it well, let the other stuff go, and know that you can either focus on what isn't working or what could work. And I really think that's the big opportunity there. Um, the other thing that's coming through from Spirit as we speak right now, they're showing me kind of like the teeth, the mouth. So, 2 things, because we are in a retrograde, watch what you say. Make sure that you think through and sort of like maybe even get someone else's perspective, particularly if you're emailing or sending something that is going to be delayed and received later, because a lot of times you will change your mind, or the emotion that was heavy when you composed that is not so heavy afterwards. So really focus on the words and the timing, and my advice would be to put it into a draft folder and send it later after you've had a chance to kind of sit on it for a bit. The teeth also came through. So for some of you, you may be overdue for a dental checkup. You may be also just kind of clenching your mouth a little bit, like TMJ or something like that. So that was the other thing that came through. And motion. Some of you need to get moving a little bit more, but then the other thing that Spirit's showing me is that when it comes to beginning something new, a lot of times we are so keen on making sure that everything looks exactly the way that it needs to be, that we might miss a door of opportunity, particularly when people just want an early idea. If you're at a meeting and you feel like, well, it's not fully formed and everyone else sounds really smart, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Part of this is really just about showing that you are engaged, and nothing has to be perfect in the beginning. For those of you that are authors, you know this is true. You just have to get the draft out on paper, and things then start to magically come together. So that's my advice here: is not to put too much emphasis on perfection and not to give in to the energy of intimidation, because sometimes it's easy to get intimidated and think, well, it doesn't matter, or So those are the messages that came through in the channeled messages. Now let's get started in the 7-day forecast. Um, I'm using gifted decks today. I'm actually going to open them up as we're doing this, so pardon me with that. But the first one came from, thank you so much, by the way. I got a ton of these in my P.O. box, so I need to open all of them up and take a look at them. But Jill Atkinson sent me a bunch today, so I'll be using some of hers, including this Might Hurt tarot deck. I might have to go get a knife to kind of open this up, so let me do that, and then we'll get started. While I'm getting everything prepared here, because you've all been kind and I've been hanging out here, let me see if I have the capacity to gift some memberships. That would be nice. Let's see here. Takes me a second as I'm doing it here. For some reason, it's not letting me do it right now. Of course it's not. Super sticker, super chat. Okay, well, we'll hold on that. So anyway, thank you for this. Let me open it up and then we'll get started. And by the way, thank you to everybody who did give back. I got everything that I needed. I did not expect that. You guys are so generous. So I'm going to have everything I need to keep things fresh here. And we have some new decks, some old decks. And that was actually a really nice silver lining on a not so fun event where I had to move out. So thank you for that. Okay, so thank you again. Again, this was from Jill Atkinson, as are many of the decks today. So I just grabbed the first bag that I could and thought this is what Spirit wants me to use for today. All right, so let me give these a good shuffle while we're talking, and then we're going to take a look at the energy for the next 7 days, and then we'll go into the elemental. This is for everybody that's present. Again, apologies for all of this today. We're just kind of like doing the best we can with the setup. Old school, like I used to do several years back. All right. So we're going to start off with Self-Care Sunday today. We got the Five of Swords, the Five of Pentacles coming through as a reminder to take care of yourself, not to overdo it. The important thing here is really to put the emphasis on loving, accepting, celebrating yourself. With the Five of Pentacles, what happens sometimes is self-confidence can come in, make us feel, again, this is very nicely aligned to what I was talking about in channel messages, isn't it? Not getting in your headspace too much and worrying about what other people think, especially if there is sort of like a lack of validation, right? So you can do this even if, or especially if you haven't gotten the support from others. One thing that's important today is to remind yourself that you do not have to accept less than your worth. So if somebody comes through and tries to convince you to do something where it just doesn't feel like it's going to be worth your time or your energy, honor that wisdom. You've gotten to a point where you don't need to say yes to something or someone who just isn't supporting you the way that you deserve to be supported, okay? When it comes to the body, this card also can affect the lower extremities, particularly the feet. So here they just have the person barefooted. It's a great reminder to actually get a new pair of shoes if you're overdue. So for those of you that have been kind of like trying to save in that area, don't, because it ends up causing more problems in the long run. So also, if you have any pre-existing injuries, let's say you've sprained your ankle, maybe had a broken bone in your foot before, just be extra careful when walking today. And don't look at your phone while you're walking. Don't look at your watch. Be very careful because it's easy to trip over something or walk into a door or anything of that nature. So give yourself time and recover. Financially, this is a bit of a reset. So some of you may be looking at how to bounce back. We have some good cards this week. And in fact, it looks like by the end of the week, you're heading in a better direction. But starting off the week being a little bit more conscious of time, energy, and money. Okay? So Looking now from going from Sunday today to the first day of the week, Monday, we have Queen of Swords energy coming through. Speak up. This is what I was talking about. I love the synchronicities today. Speak your mind and don't worry about being perfect. Just be short, simple, clear, concise. That's all that matters. It's not like sometimes when people talk too much, they end up sort of like putting their foot in their mouth, right? So just put it out there, give it a chance, right, and see what people have to say. Um, Keep your head. She has her head in the clouds. I don't mind that when it comes to innovation, right? So if you're thinking of new things, trying to kind of like offer up new ideas, this is a very good this is a good image. This is a good card. I think it is good to also ground yourself a little bit on how this is all going to like why someone should be listening to you. That's the important thing here. So I have an idea. I think it could help us with this and this. So get straight to the point and also kind of lead with why they care, why they should care. Okay. So Monday, speak up, ground your communication to something that people can wrap their heads around, and also someone may ask you a question. So just be ready to speak up, and you can always ask another question in return. Say, "That's a great question. Help me understand this, and this, and maybe I can get you that." Whatever. Okay. So good day for communication. Good day for taking action. People are looking to you for advice. That's why it's important to speak up. All right, moving on. Let me move this back just a little bit. Moving on to Tuesday, we have the sun coming through. This so far is the best day of the week, and I think overall still is the best day of the week. So, charisma is in high sort of like gear on Monday with the sun card. Um, you have the chance to easily get people's attention and also pretty easily partner up with other people. It's like a card of chemistry. Great day to start something, to launch something, birthing, releasing, revealing, basically setting things into motion. The combination of these two back to back is quite auspicious as well. So you can say something and see it come to fruition. Okay? Tuesday is the highlight so far. Moving on to the midweek, we have the Seven of Swords. This, of course, is a tricky card. It can represent someone that just doesn't come through. They say they're going to do it, they don't. It could be someone that is actually not telling you the full truth. So when you're buying something, they may not tell you about, some of the problems if you're buying something used. Or it could be even you trying to get away with something. And the Seven of Swords comes through to encourage and remind all of us of the importance of accountability. So don't say it unless you can do it. And if someone else is saying something that is incorrect or is doing something that is not right, call it to attention and basically say, I don't have time for this, right? Because you don't have time for this. And so I would avoid on Wednesday signing a new contract. I would avoid buying something without reading the full warranty and getting a second opinion on it. And I would encourage you not to overextend yourself, because sometimes the Seven of Swords is kind of like accidental, where you overpromise and underdeliver. So those things can help you avoid it. I always try to help when we have a tricky card. All right, looking now from Wednesday to Thursday, you can get a lot of work done here. This is one of the hardest working cards here, the Nine of Wands. It does feel like some of you may be a little bit worse for the wear. You might be pushing yourself too hard. So take a break. I love all of the pens and pencils on this card. You can get a lot of work done when it comes to paperwork, but there is a point of diminishing returns, whether you're looking at financial numbers or you're looking at the fine print. It all kind of like blurs together at one point, and you could make a mistake or miss something. So I think it's really important on Thursday to pace yourself and take a break. Take a step back. You're very, very, very close to the finish line, just like one or two steps away, because we have the Nine of Wands here. So the next is the Ten of Wands, which is moving something forward, finishing something, possibly even some travel. So it's all around the corner. Just kind of like take it easy here. Headaches can come through here. Sometimes even an injury around the head if you've had one in the past, or have had issues with things like usually doesn't come through on this card, but it's coming through right now when you're a little bit dizzy. So like vertigo. Basically, brain issues can come up, and that again, it can either just be emotional or it could be physical. Take care of yourself, obviously, and don't overdo it. All right, moving on to Friday, it's decision time. Someone else may be making the decision though. Okay, so on Friday, with the Judgment card upright, it can represent a person in your life that has just their mind is set. It could be for their own best interest, but what I'm getting on this is a little bit of resistance, particularly because it's on the heels of this. So you can't change someone else's mind sometimes, especially once they've signed it on the dotted line or something like that. So control what you can control, let go of what you can't. People can take or not take your advice, and whatever happens, that's kind of on them, right? So keep that in mind. Another message with this particular card is to be mindful of um, being at peace with things too sometimes. So Judgment is a card of resurrection and rebirth. We'll talk about the heart on this in a second, but just knowing like when something is done or diminishing returns. For instance, last night I just made a decision. I need some sleep and we're not doing the daily. I recorded it and the audio's not working. I need to go to bed. I'll be better in the morning. Sometimes just saying I'm done with this can be a part of the Judgment card. Could be I'm done with this relationship. I'm done with this job. I'm tired of worrying about this. I've done everything I can. Letting go. Tomorrow's a new day. And tomorrow is a new day, folks. That's the essence of the Judgment card. You see a feather and a heart on here. This represents the weighing of the soul or the weighing of the heart, more particularly here. I want you to really tune into how you feel on Friday and think to yourself, is this, does this still resonate? Does this make me happy? Does this bring me joy? Because if it doesn't, life is finite, and it may not be worth the time and energy you're investing in any given person, place, or thing. So this can help you clarify if something might be done, if you might be ready for something new, and give yourself permission to try something new, by the way. This is like a chrysalis card as well. So a very powerful card as we're wrapping up the end of the week, but a good one nonetheless. As I said, we have kind of like a good news story here because you were starting off with Five of Pentacles, but as we look at the energy 6 days from now on Saturday, we have Seven of Pentacles. This represents slow and steady recovery, healing, and growth. It isn't always just with money. It can also be with your health, by the way. So if you like had a broken bone or had some elective surgery or did something where you just needed to kind of have a little bit of healing, we're starting to see you turn the corner here. It may not be 100% there. You're starting to feel a lot better and know that things are headed in the right direction, okay? So I do like that. Don't rush, don't overextend. This card and this card are kind of siblings. So this one knows when to slow down, this one doesn't, and ends up getting themselves into trouble. They're not listening to their higher self, which is today's message, which is maybe I've bitten off more than I can chew on this. So pace yourself and know that you are headed in the right direction. Things are looking better. Usually that comes on the heels of, like I said, recovery or getting past any sort of debt in your life. So just kind of like embrace the lessons from the past and you should be okay. All right. As we focus on Sunday, it's actually quite good. It's today's topic card. So a week from today, it feels like everything that we're about to talk about today comes to fruition. So we have the Hermit here. And some of you might be shining a light on something for someone else saying, hey, I think you should pay attention to this. Or have you heard ... So you could be sharing your own insights, your own research, your own knowledge with someone. You might also be opening up to someone else's insights. This is also a great card for studying, learning, and expanding overall. You may not want to sort of do something with other people on next Sunday, and that's okay if you're kind of feeling more like the Hermit. Take care of yourself. It's a great day to spend at home. Highlights and lowlights for this week, and then we'll move on to the elemental breakdown. So the highlights, like I said, I really like Tuesday. I actually don't mind Friday because Tuesday things can get launched. Friday you can let things go, and then a week from today, next Sunday, the Hermit card is actually pretty auspicious too because it's just a card of knowledge, power, and insight. And who doesn't like that, right? All right. So let me see here. I'm going to open up another deck here. I'll save that for the special topic, and we'll just do the Rider-Waite-Smith one for this. Next week, I'll be a little bit more organized with all of those, and I want to keep these little cards that you guys gave me, and I'm going to keep them with the deck so that I can think about you when I select them. So thank you again to Jill. I recognize your name. You've been in the chat a long time, so thank you so much for showing up and helping me out. From my heart to yours, thank you. You helped today's reading be special. I love these cards and I love the illustration on them, so good to have them back in the spread. All right, for the elemental, we'll just do this just to kind of save time, and then I'll do another fan selected deck for today. You guys are actually choosing them over the next few readings and weeks. I'm just going to go into the bags and choose whichever one my my hand is kind of drawn to do. All right, so we're going to look at the elements first. Okay, so fire, earth, air, and water. We're going to start off with our fire signs. For fire, we have 3 of Cups. This is a great week for all the fire signs to get out, to mix, to mingle. Some of you may be actually, meeting someone new, starting a new friendship, some sort of an engagement. It's a great starter energy. That's how I would connect with the 3 of Cups. So there may be a first date, there may be a first interview, there may be a first meeting. Some of you may be even kind of around someone that's flirtatious. See where those sparks may lead. That it's not necessarily a bad thing. I also think with the 3 of Cups, one of the missed interpretations, but it's coming through loud and clear right now, is to have some fun, to take a moment and just make sure that you're not missing out on life's little joys. You know what I'm saying? So if it's been a minute since you've taken a holiday, a vacation, a break, practice good self-care, now's the time to do so. Okay? So pretty good week overall for all the fire signs. Have some fun in kind of like embrace or engage with new energies and opportunities as they present themselves. And what I like about the traditional 3 of Cups is it's a little bit more inclusive. Some of the new decks show, the person feeling like they're on the outside. I actually feel like you can make your way into a group. So this is also good for job seekers. If you're trying to get someone's attention this week, I think you have a good chance of, getting them to hear you, to see you, to listen. So although the Hermit energy came through on Sunday of next week, I think you should take advantage of the beginning of the week, particularly Tuesday when the sun came out, because when you combine that and the 3 of Cups, the sky is the limit. All right, moving on from fire to earth. Take care of yourselves, please. All my earth signs, get a break, get a massage. This can also be just a call to get acupuncture if it's been a minute since you've done that. The other thing here, there could be some chronic pain or fatigue that's presenting itself. Obviously, you want to pay attention to that and remedy that so that you do not sort of get yourself in a situation where it gets worse. In the channel messages, I said I kind of underlined the importance of making sure that you absolutely weigh your words before saying something. So this can be the initial thought, like the anger that comes through or the frustration, the first draft of a Yelp review, whatever it might be. Give it another draft, give it another thought, allow yourself to really elevate the words there. And if someone else has said something cruel, you don't have to take the bait. You can simply step back and say, that's your perspective. I'm surprised to hear that, but you just don't have to kind of don't fan the flames. That's what I would say with this. The other thing, and this is kind of a very elevated view of the 10 of Swords. Sometimes when people see this, they freak out. Just don't be a perfectionist. Take a note from me. I love things to be perfect, but I know when it's not feasible, and then I just move forward. Because it's not about perfection, folks. This week especially, it's just about showing up. That's at the end of the day what people are going to remember. Did you show up to the party? Did you show up to work? Were you there when someone needed you? Did you do your best? Okay, that's good enough. This is ridiculous. Don't push yourself to the point of exhaustion. All right, Earth signs, stay grounded, take care of yourself, nurture yourself. Again, whether that's just taking a nice bath, getting sleeping in one day, doing a little bit less, whatever you need to do, it's okay. All right. Moving on to air signs. recalibrating with your resources here, Four of Pentacles. So you may be looking at certain things in your life where it's like, that is just not returning on what I'm putting in. What I just mentioned, you're always there for someone else, but are they showing up for you? If consistently the answer would be no, then this is a week where you just can pull back a little bit. This is also a card of non-disclosure. So there could be someone in your life that just holds back. They don't, they don't, you may share all of these things about your life, your feelings, your dreams, all this, and then they're just kind of sitting there and it's like, it needs to be an even exchange. So that's the way that I can break it down for all the air signs. There should be a better and more even exchange of communication. Even though it's not a communication card, this can represent someone holding something back. We had Seven of Swords this week, so someone may not be telling the full truth. So wait until you get all the information, all of the all of the pentacles in front of you, and feel free to push back if something just doesn't feel right. It can also be you holding on to the devil, that's my personal interpretation of this card. So if there's something where it's comfortable, but it's not good enough. Um, like the Sarah McLachlan song from the 90s, there's so much more than good enough. There comes a point where you're not going to settle. You're either experienced enough, old enough, confident enough, or just tired enough to say, that may have been ample in the past, but it is not enough anymore. Okay? And stress relief is key. This is about holding on to tension in your life. So stress can manifest in many different parts of the body. So do whatever you can to make sure that you're getting it out and not holding it in. And that was for my air signs. Moving on to water, we have a very water-friendly card here, the Temperance Angel. One step at a time. And also, really, this is a chance for you to tune into the heart. I talked about the importance of that with the Judgment card. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. This card is also, I connect it to rebirth too, because we have the fleur-de-lis on the side here. We have the sun in the background. So for many of you, if you're taking first steps, the Temperance Angel reminds you, one step at a time, one breath at a time, one thought at a time. We do not have to have everything all-encompassing, sort of thought out. So time and again this week, there's been messages around just taking it easy on yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but super, super important. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else on the Temperance card. There could be an opportunity, either one where you've got this idea, like, I should explore this. So in the background on this card, we have a path, and then we have the crowned sun. And so for some of you, it's about figuring out, and realize the Hermit's going to help you get there. It may take a full week to kind of hammer out the ideas, but you're trying to figure out the path, and the path of least resistance for some of you as well. Okay. So I kind of like what I see in the 7 days. Most of them, are pretty manageable. I think today is one of the most challenging cards again. And then, the middle of the week. And then when I'm looking at all of the signs and the breakdown, I would say the earth signs just need to take it easy on themselves, and the air signs need to let go a little bit. I'm pretty happy with where fire and water are. Okay. That is the first part of this reading. Now we're going to go to the special topic. I had the graphic wrong for a little bit earlier, so thanks to everybody for being patient. But special topic today is the Hermit. This is going to be messages from your higher self. I'm going to do another deck here from a different fan here. Cynthia, thank you so much. I'm going to open this up and get things shuffled, and then take a moment here just to check in with everyone. How's everyone doing today while I'm opening up some of these decks? I hope that your weekend is going well. I hope that you're managing retrograde. Like I said earlier, sometimes you have to realize this is all I can do, and this is going to be good enough. And that's there's a lot of power in that. I should have had all of these ready earlier, but it's okay. This makes it more fun and more real as I'm kind of opening it up. Let's see what else is coming through here. One other thing is by the way, how synchronistic that we have another Five of Pentacles as I'm opening up the deck. Another thing that I'm picking up on as I'm looking at all of these cards in front of me is, this actually came through in dreams last night. There was an image of someone that was going to a test, and it felt like a lack of preparation was going on with this. So, I think one thing that you want to do this week, especially as we're looking, this is a message from higher self. Don't underestimate the importance of preparation. So just kind of like Googling a company or a person before you get to sort of like engage in a conversation, just really understanding what you're getting into before just jumping head first. That's the message there. And if you did take a test and you didn't pass, second time around looked a lot better to me as well. Okay, so don't, don't beat yourself up. It is not, at the end of the day, usually nobody cares about how many attempts it took, just if you were able to do it. And for the sake of not making us wait, I'm just going to do everything with this deck, including the expanded forecast. Again, today we're just shaking it up a little bit. I didn't have as much time to get everything prepared, but it's okay. All right, everybody, close your eyes. Let's tune in to the messages from the highest self. We're going to welcome in angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and your highest self as well. Focusing on messages you need to hear, not just what you want to hear, knowing that you'll walk away from this reading feeling a sense of power and enlightenment. Okay, here we go. I'm going to just pull cards in real time for health, wealth, love, and destiny in a second. I feel like doing that just to kind of keep the pace up and to try something different. And I may open up one of the decks and just use it all with that. So we're changing things up today and it's fun. All right, we're going to start off with the 7. Oh, actually, one thing that we should pull is we need a catalyst card no matter what. So you'll have to wait for me to unpack one more. So this one is another one from, let's see. Who was kind enough to give me this one? Let's see. Some of you maybe didn't put your name on it. That's okay. So thank you to whomever gave me the Hero's Journey. I didn't see a name on this. I always look for it, but I didn't see it on that one. If I see it later, I might do an all-encompassing like thank you screen to put on some of these videos for the next couple months. But anyway, thank you to whoever gave me this. We're going to use it for all of the extended portion of today. So with that 7 of Swords at the center, it is interesting that accountability is the first message coming through from your highest self. While I'm opening this, 7 of Swords, if you've recently made a promise to yourself, like I am going to be better about this, X, Y, or Z. It could be being better about, answering people's phone calls. It could be about, checking up on your own sort of health and well-being. Whatever it is that you said, you know what, I can do better. I will do better. At the core, that's really what this, 7 of Swords is about. So we'll talk about this and then I'll go to the catalyst. It is reversed. So many of you are at this point where you're like, I know I need to deal with this. Nobody can force or make the action happen though, except for you. So this is really just spirit coming through and saying, are you ready? Are you truly ready? I think it's going to be key for you to do that right now in order to make the necessary change happen, okay? All right, so we have 10,000 angels coming through. What a beautiful card. Lean on your circle of supernatural support. That is a that is a mouthful. Lean on your circle of supernatural support. Whoever wrote that did that on purpose. It makes me laugh. But 10,000 angels, this reminds you that in spirit, you are supported more than you may imagine. So when you need to make a difficult first step in a new direction, lean on that support. Ask for assistance. Make it clear in no uncertain terms what it is that I need to do. Incontrovertible, it's a fancy but good word. Like it's undeniable that I need to go in this direction. So we have angelic help coming through. Remember, I had the temperance card for some signs this month, or this week rather. So really, here's the interesting thing with spirit. It speaks in a subtle way. So you do have to slow down just long enough to pick up on the cues. If you're kind of like Knight of Swords, running, it's not necessarily going to become clear to you, okay? So I get a couple things here. Slow down. This is not a race, not unless you want it or need it to be a race. And ask for help. And that's actually one of the things that I did to get this apartment. As many of you know, it's been a journey. I was kind of at my last night of the place that I was staying at temporarily, and I had missed an opportunity to rent a unit in this space and I liked it. And I just said a prayer. I said, make it clear. Like, I don't know where else to go. If I have to do another Airbnb, I need to know by tomorrow, or whatever. And then I got a text from the agent saying there's an opening. It's a different unit, different location. Do you want to kind of take a look at this? And it all worked out. Sometimes you just have to let it go. I was willing to just go where spirit needed me to go, and it pointed me here. So pray, meditate, tune in. You can call it whatever you want. Prayer is connection to source. And we all have different words for source, the divine, God, a particular name of a God or whatever, but it's there if you want to tap into it. So when we need guidance and we really connect and just say, it's surrender, that's actually a really good lesson on spiritual growth. When it comes to messages, when it comes to life path, when you are ready and willing to simply surrender to what you need to do or what's in front of you, everything starts to align. When we fight the necessary or the obvious or the message, that's when it gets difficult. For me, I knew I needed to leave my old place for a long time, and I waited until it got difficult. So just because I worked too hard, and that's on me, but don't wait too long. It gets difficult if you do, and tune in and kind of embrace, accept, and surrender to the message that appears because of that. Growth and expansion is on the horizon. So once we overcome this accountability issue, by the way, this could be a disappointment. Let's say someone in your life just did not show up the way you needed them to, and you decide, I got to go in a different direction. Good for you. Ultimately, this is going to be a very positive thing. This is my favorite Eight of Cups. So, again, thank you. Thank you to who got this for me again. I want to say thanks because this is one of my favorite decks. But anyway, I think this is an amazing. Oh, Cynthia, thank you so much. This card shows you the importance of taking those first steps towards something you truly, truly feel connected to. Jupiter, of course, is one of the planets of expansion and movement. And for those of you that have been holding on to the devil, letting go and exploring the unknown is going to be so much more rich than hanging on to something that hasn't been as fulfilling or just sort of as resonant as you should have had in your life right now. This can be going back to something that you left on the shelf. Eight of Cups is a card of returns. So let's say, and second chances for that matter. So if you missed an opportunity once, it comes around again. If you maybe want to go back and finish something like get a GED, or if there's been words that have been left unsaid where you want to say, I love you, or I'm sorry, or whatever, this is a chance to do it. And after you do it, no matter what comes of that, something bigger is on the horizon. Okay. So I think that if you can just kind of like trust is another big thing from higher self that's coming through. That's going to be so key, folks. Trust yourself and trust that there's something better. That's, by the way, that was part of my manifesting of this place. I looked for a long time. I've been looking since February. I'm like, it's not right. This isn't it. I know there's something better. It took me a long time to manifest this. It did not happen overnight. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And so trust that there's something better and don't give up until you find it. This is particularly true in relationships. If there's something that just doesn't feel right, you got to trust in that, folks, okay? You're busy. It's going to be a busy week here. Eight of Wands. And for those of you that I was seeing fatigue in the mind, it can just be in sort of like mental burnout. So Eight of Wands, things are going in every single direction. But gosh, you've got so many ideas. I think the biggest and most challenging thing for many of you right now is making sure that you're capturing them. So jotting them down, using your phone to record them in a voice memo, working with someone else and letting them take the next baton, particularly if you're just a creative type, like get it all out on the table. And then once it's all out on the table, you're going to be able to figure out what the next step is going to be. It's a great card, the Eight of Wands, for business and just productivity. When reversed, you can get lost in the shuffle or feel lost in the shuffle. So reach out for help if you need it. Know that you are surrounded by a lot of help, both physically and spiritually. And so lean into that support right now. Okay. All right. Oh, I love that you got the King of Cups coming through here. So in the recent past here, we have King of Cups. And I'm sorry, I'm laughing at him tossing the cup over his shoulder. Enough. I literally kind of get that feeling of I've had enough. I've had it up to here with this. And he kind of just lets it go. So if there's something in your life where you just feel like I'm truly, like done with this, good for you. It's good to have clarity, isn't it? It's good to know enough is enough. He's unbothered by a lot of things. So there's someone here that's tugging at his time and energy, kind of like it's almost like a little brother or sister, or someone in your life where they're constantly tagging at you, and he's just like, I'm not going to take the bait. I don't have time for this. So the judgment card that we saw earlier that was weighing the heart and weighing the soul, really tune in and think to yourself, is it worth it? Now, the good news here is there could be someone coming into your life. You may not be looking for it. You may have even tossed aside the idea of partnership, but it comes through possibly because of that. So if you're open this week, what we see also coming through is friendship, partnership, and love in the form of the King of Cups. So a water sign like a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces could be presenting itself. It's as a representation of you, it's highly empathetic. So it's showing just how passionate and compassionate and empathetic you are. And because of all of those things, you're drawing in a lot of opportunity right now. And we just came upon the 8-8 Lion's Gate rather, a couple days ago. So we have the Strength card here. Wonderful Leo energy coming forth as well. I like this Strength card because there isn't a sense of struggle. And that is exactly what I was just talking about with the King of Cups. Normally, she is putting her hands in the mouth of a beast, usually a lion, and successfully kind of like dominating the that sort of energy. But what I always like to mention with that is that sustainable in the long run? And that's a rhetorical question because it's not. So you've learned the dance where sometimes you can get someone to do something without forcing them. If you can get them to adopt the idea as their own, if you can get them to see something, this is what a therapist kind of does. They're trying to get you past your own blocks. Like, you've already got what it takes to figure this out, but sometimes we get in our own way. So this is really about helping someone see the path and not pushing them. And it's going to be better leadership, better partnership. And when we're looking at love, better overall. So this is a nice pairing here with these two cards. So we have Strength and King of Cups. He may not like to be manipulated when it comes to, emotions. She'll just put something out on the table, say, hey, I think you should give this a shot, but take it or leave it. And if and when you're ready, the door is open. So that's kind of the hands-off approach that you want to take with something, is highlight it, give someone a chance to think about it. You can even check in a little bit later. Hey, did you have a chance to look at that email I sent you? But don't be pushy. And that's it. You try once and you let it go. Because when they're ready, that email is going to be sitting there, or that text will be there, or that document, whatever it is that you gave them. And that's enough. And that's all you can do is plant a seed. They're going to either take the ace or toss the ace. And someone may want to toss that ace, because that's what he's doing, is like, I'm going to do it my own way. So as we get older, we realize I just don't have to control that person, right? I wish I could go back in time and talk to you, younger version of myself, and just say, don't waste your time on this person, place, or thing. In the near future, we have the King of Wands in reverse. So this is about keeping a very open mind, a very open perspective on something. There is more than one way to do something. I think that there is, for some of you, it could actually be easier, shorter, or more effective, but it feels like there's attachment. There's a lot of attachment to my way or the highway. And some of you, I'm getting like rebellion, because this could be like parental energy coming through, where there was someone who really in the past kind of liked to try to push you in a certain position or sort of trajectory, and maybe you were resistant to that. This king is very young looking, almost looks more like a knight to me. So I'm getting this energy of someone trying to make you go in another direction. And then ironically, This makes you very, very stubborn to do the complete opposite, even if it was maybe something that's advantageous. So keep an open mind, be open to constructive criticism, live your life for yourself, but do pay attention. There might be something that could be easier. This is also saying an idea is only as good as the follow through on it. So we see him like breathing fire, breathing energy into something. So kindle the flame. Actually, the very next card here, as we're looking at you, I'm just going to leave the camera up, is the Ace of Wands. And it's the same thing. It's follow through. So I would say the second thing that's coming through loud and clear with this, it's like a power struggle and then follow through. And then also, if something could be easier, but you want to prove someone wrong, don't do it. Don't make it harder just to disprove them. Like it's okay for something to be easy. It's okay for someone to have valid feedback, even if you don't like them. So it's a nuance that I can't tell you what to do on this one, but I can tell you that there might be an easier path than the one that you're taking. And even though it's inconvenient because someone said it, maybe do it anyway, because if it feels right and if it could actually save you time and energy down the line, you don't have to tell them, but that's kind of what I'm picking up on that. Okay. All right. You might have a new idea that you have right now. So once you give yourself a chance to recalibrate, so this can be a lack of vitality, feeling exhausted, working too much, trying to do everything for everyone all the time. So pull back a little bit, rest. Once you've had a chance to recalibrate, magic starts to happen, because we forget wands, it's like, the magician's wand. So once you have a little bit of time and energy to focus on yourself, what do we have here? We have a phoenix coming out of that. And it's a chance to resuscitate something that you have not had a chance to kind of put time and energy into. So don't worry about everybody else's thoughts or energy. Don't try to control someone else. Don't let them control you. Focus instead on your path, your idea, your vitality, and follow through on something, because that ace is really inviting the next step. You either feel the spark or you don't. If you just met somebody new, for all of you that had the Three of Cups that came through, I think it was fire signs. If you don't feel that mutual spark, it's not worth the time and energy. It's not going to be there later. So this is also true of just about anything. So like, I'm trying to think of a recent example for myself, but sometimes it can just be, if you've bought something and it's not right at the very beginning, I believe the same thing too. That's why I'm going to return the cameras that I bought. I'm like, this is too hard. If it's too much energy, if the spark isn't there, if something's wrong on day one. So my old apartment where I moved in and it flooded on the first day I was there, I should have moved out. That was an indicative sort of thing of what the future would be like. So if the first initial connection is really, really difficult, why not look in another, try another path, look left or right, try something else. Because yes, you can sometimes get through that one issue at hand, but trust me, strength gets tired if she has to keep holding that mouth open on that lion. So that's my message there. More incoming resources as we look at the environment here. So we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. For some of you, this is an invitation to crunch the numbers a little bit. There may be an efficiency, there may be something you can sell or return, or there may be something that you're paying for that you don't need. So there may be just like a service that you've opted into, whether it's some level of insurance or some streaming service or whatever it might be, and you're like, I don't actually need that. You could increase your bottom line by cutting out some of these things. It's a revisionary card, and it's one of writing, editing, and creating. In the corner, we have this beautiful spider web. This is showing me that anything that you put into writing or anything that you work on this week contractually or energetically has the ability to stick, and it feels like you can be done with it by the end of the week. So get out those pens and pencils and make the necessary changes or edits, and things are looking a lot better towards the latter part of this week. Like I said, by the end of the weekend, it looked like when we have the Hermit next Sunday, you'll be in a really good position then. Okay? All right. There could be, for some of you, a signature that's needed. And again, I feel like there's a little bit of, you can revise the contract before you say yes or no on that. Opportunities as we're looking at this week ahead and also paying attention to higher self. things are starting to come into focus, but they may not be fully developed this week. I love what Rachel True did with this illustration. The Fool is it's a liminal card. Actually, that's one thing that we see: half in, half out. 1 foot in the future, 1 foot in the past. But you're going to have to take that second step and be more present, because it feels like you're straddling those two directions and you're missing the energy of the presence. The present, being present, will help you kind of pick up on all of that sort of energy. There could be travel. Again, first steps, movement, agreement, something positive here with the Fool. I like it. Okay. Also, letting go of some stuff, something I just recently did. Donating, junking, recycling, whatever you can do to kind of get rid of some of that extra stuff that might be in there. Okay. And very, very nicely aligned here, because we got this in the weekly, the 7 of Pentacles in the outcome, showing that you have the ability to start to recover, to start to see growth and movement. Things are not moving at the speed with which you would like. Many of you wish that everything was done. Are we there yet? Not yet, but when you blink your eyes a few times, you will be. Sometimes with the 7 of Pentacles, if you simply put some energy over here, or focus on that, or take a break and tune in, by the time you look again, everything has grown, everything has changed, everything is looking much, much better. We're going to expand the forecast now. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. First, I'm going to take a drink. All right, I think I'll just use this same deck again just to avoid on opening everything up. Next time I'll have it all ready beforehand. Again, I just want to say thanks to everybody, because there's been a lot of expenses here. So this was a big help. So thank you. And I'll be saying your names as I look at every deck and connecting with you and thinking of you. So I appreciate it. Health, wealth, love, and destiny. All right. So looking at these for health, we have 1 with the sun. So a couple things with this. This is about the solar plexus. So for some of you, there's an encouragement right now to open up and work a little bit more on strengthening your core. This is about letting go of ties that you might have to parents, familial ties, because those are all in the sort of umbilical cord. And so focusing on releasing any cords that are there, letting go of any power struggles, really leaning into your own self-confidence, and at the end of the day, doing what is right. And it says be the light. It doesn't say be right. It doesn't say, win the battle. It says be the light. Ultimately, that's like the hermit that we saw here. So you're going to lead the way through your grace, through your dignity, through your kindness. And these are traits that, inspire others. I do believe in the end, joy and light win out. There sometimes are portions of your life where, and even the world, where darkness takes center stage, but it doesn't stay forever. It's not a sustainable energy. The reason darkness doesn't have the capacity to rule forever is it's vampiric. It is not self-sustaining. And when you are the sun, you're self-sustaining. That is why vampires need something else, right? But when you are source energy, you don't. So it's not accidental that we're kind of veering into that energy of energy vampires. So if there is a boss, a friend, a lover, a coworker, a family member that has that vampiric energy, or that sort of, let's just call it like, it's like you're their battery. You're not their battery. And that's the big takeaway this week is be your own battery, push back on anyone that chooses to plug in all the time but never replenish and never recharge. It is a two-way street, folks, and this is really important. We're looking at health, but relationships are coming forth. So that's one of the messages here. Briefly looking at other health messages, let's see what is coming through. Let me take a drink first. All right, health messages. Like I said, nothing's really going to stick until you've committed. So if you want to start something new, you have to really get behind that energy of action and movement. And we see that here. Some of you are tired, but Interestingly enough, once you start to make some necessary changes in your life, the fatigue goes away and then it starts to get easier step by step. The main thing that I'm seeing in the week ahead, mental fatigue, mental stress, and for some of you, just too much on your plate. Taking a trip, a holiday, a break, or changing up the environment can help you quite a bit. And otherwise, I like what I see here. There's an encouragement to walk a little bit more. For those of you that spend a lot of time at home or in an office and don't get out in nature enough, this card is connecting you with that grounding energy that's out there. Okay. So by and large, pretty good. The big message that came through is that some of you are putting too much time and energy into someone or something without a return on it. All right, moving from health to wealth. You get a chance to answer the call. So it's really honor the whisper of your soul. For some of you, it may be less of a whisper and more of like, spirit coming through and saying, if not now, then when? So if there's something that you need or want to do, this is the week to begin it. So, take that first step, folks. It could be sending a job application, applying for a program of study. For some of you, it could also be a chance for you to kind of like do a little bit of research or literally answer the phone when there's an important call for information, etc. This is good. Honor the whisper of your soul. Some of you have been pushing that under the rug. And right now it's time to, listen to what it is that you need and want to do. Breaking it down into 3 categories: those that are working, looking for work, or students or retirees. If you're working, be mindful of gossip. Don't let someone talk you into this. Is a pushy card. This is a card of doing something that's not right or legal. Don't let someone push you into doing something that isn't right or isn't sound. It'll get back. It's in a bad way. So you just want to basically follow the rules and just say, no, thank you. I'm not going to do that. You have a chance to right a wrong because this is something that wasn't done and this is a chance to go back and do it. So if you missed a deadline, if you didn't do something, just own up to it, complete it, and that sets you in a good trajectory. Creativity, empathy, and intuition are pretty strong this week, so tune into those. You may have too much on your plate. So I think it's important to delegate. And this King of Wands is micromanaging. So this could be a boss that's micromanaging. This could be you trying to do everything. Step back, let go, focus on the stuff that matters most. Mostly I like the finance cards. I think there is an important message here not to sort of like overdo it. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. Moving on from those that are working. By the way, if there is a contract, get someone else to look at it. If you are dealing with a legal contract or anything of that nature, send it to a lawyer just to make sure it looks good. All right, moving on to job seekers. A job that is advertised may not be everything that it is kind of like outlined to be. Someone might be, it's kind of like, speaking of like apartments, there are certain words that I don't want to see. I don't need to see cozy, rustic, fixer-upper, quaint. Let's see if there's anything else. They are lies. They basically are saying small, disrepair, not what you want, cramped. So they use words that are aspiring and flowery and cursive, but they're not true. So if someone is speaking in cursive, saying things that are flowery and confusing and not quite there, raise your hand and say, but how about this and this and this? Or, I looked into it and this doesn't quite gel. So there you go. And if someone's looking for, I'm thinking back to the old job applications, like they're looking for a self-starter. Is that because management's bad? Or looking for someone that thrives under pressure? Is the staffing, is this an understaffed situation? Like, you can find a way to communicate that too. You could just say, tell me about how many hours per week we're working, and what's the current morale? How do you guys work with burnout and stress, and how do you help people? Like, how do you reward hard work? I love that the next couple, like the last couple of generations of people that are out there right now, millennials and Gen Z and Alpha, they're like, we're tired of this. A lot of Gen Xers and previous generations put up with it. I love that the younger generation is speaking up and saying, what is all of this about again? So speak up. There's something that's in cursive. There's something that looks beautiful but isn't. And so you're going to get to the bottom of it and call it out for what it is and ask for more money. You have a chance to get a little bit more. Don't overreach, but you have a chance to get a little bit more. So why not, right? Let's see. It feels like for many of you, you're actually poised to take a step up. Whatever your past role is, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to go to like a management thing, but I see a step up because we have a couple of kings and the strength card, and these are some of the best energies you can get. So don't be afraid. You may be thinking to yourself, can I do it? This can be just energy of doubt. Yes, you can do it, or the opportunities wouldn't have presented themselves. I think it's important to, if you're not inspired or if you're bored by this sort of prospect of working somewhere, don't do it. Or just it's short term. Because I feel like there are two options. There's like a longer term option, and there's one that's very short term because of the focus on either very administrative, like secretarial, or very focused on the numbers. And it feels like the creative part of you gets tossed out the window. So let's not get something that's too technical. I get it. Sometimes you just need to take a temporary job in order to tide you over, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's very sort of like 6 to 8 months is what I get with that. And sometimes we do that because we have to pay the bills 100%. But if you have two options in front of you, one pays better, one is a little less, because I have the 8 and the 7 of Pentacles. It's not a lot. Like this may be, I mean, I say not a lot, but it is a lot for some of you, but it may be like 10% difference or something like that, or 10,000 or something like that. But the long-term longevity of the one that pays better is not, it's not, you're not going to stick around. You're going to walk. It's better maybe to go to the one that is slightly less, but you'll grow more and you'll be able to recover that. And if it is something as small, that I really wouldn't go anymore if you're negotiating for a job, like 10 to 15% is okay. Because a lot of times in the past, when you went too much under that, anything under 25% is a hard pass. It became hard to negotiate salaries moving forward. So they need to sweeten the offer a little bit. If it's going to be less, there needs to be more time off. There needs to be more 401k matching or bonus eligibility or something. See if you can put something in there to sweeten the pot a little bit. And that's my advice. Can you find a job? Yes. There may be travel associated with it. You have 2 cards of travel. It could be telecommute because these aren't necessarily moving per se. Some of you may also be doing work that requires you to hop in your, like this could be Uber. This could also be door-to-door kind of stuff, or a lot of in-person conversations with people. But I do see money coming through, and I do see opportunities. And I do see a very small difference between 2 of those paths. And I'd encourage you to weigh out all the options. Remembering that Judgment card that had the soul, or the heart rather, here weighed against the feather. It should seem easy. It should seem light. It should seem like, yes, this is what I want to do. Okay. That's everything there. If you are a student, I like what I see overall. Actually, busy, really getting a good amount of work done. I think it's time to put in either like a little bit of, I mean, for many of you here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're almost maybe a month and a half away from the fall semester. It's right around the corner. So get your last trip in, try to have some fun, work a little bit less in the short term so that you have the vitality and the energy to finish what you've started. You may be wondering if you can do something. I actually do think you can do it. If it's just a confidence thing, I see success here. This is a strong arm thing. So like I said before, when it comes to your path, and we're looking at the call, it's your path. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, especially at this point in the journey, it's much easier to course correct. So don't do it. Okay. There's a lot of, actually, if some of you might be looking to travel abroad or move to a school that's out of your geographical kind of reference point. I like it. There's so many strong energies here. Like there's a lot of teacher energy coming through here. So it feels like you're headed on the right path. Financially, I think you can get some assistance here so that you don't get into debt or overextend, because the cost of school has just gotten into like ridiculous zones right now. Okay, for those that are retiring, 2 cards of travel. These are not necessarily cards that require a lot of money to travel. The Fool card is about just taking a walk in your own city, state, country, or province and saying, hey, I'm going to meet someone for lunch, etc. 8 of Cups could be going back to meet someone from the past that you haven't seen in a while. And again, it could be something local. It's also a card of like hiking or getting out into nature. Typically, we see someone in the mountains here. But maybe some of you are looking into the stars as well, sky gazing, whatever. It's just, or stargazing. It's just a chance for you to get away from what you're doing right now and take a break. I see a lot of people coming through with the King of Cups, the Strength card, and the King of Wands, 3 of Cups. Remember, I got that for some of you. So you can make a lot of different connections this week in business, in love, and just because. So I would encourage you to do that if you have the free time and the bandwidth. We just looked at health and wealth. Now we're going to quickly look at love, maybe spending a little bit less time on this since I spent a lot on wealth. So we have the magic zone. This is where magician energy is coming through. The exhilaration of discombobulation. Don't get in your headspace too much. Discombobulated is when you're overthinking. And magic is messy sometimes. It just comes through however it wants to come through. So as someone who is a writer and a creative and just comes up with ideas sometimes, I just record them when they come through and I make sense of them later. And musicians, I think you do this all the time too. You might wake up in the middle of the night, hum something into your phone, and then compose it the next day. So when the muse comes through, do something with it. You may be meeting someone who can help you with that. So maybe a producer type energy, an organizer, a project management type energy, because we're looking at relationships here. So if you're like, I have all these things, what do I do with it? Maybe taking it to someone who can organize it and help you take it to the next level could be advantageous. All right, let's quickly look. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I want to get into also kind of like maybe pulling an extra card to see what's coming through just from your higher self. But quickly looking at relationships, we're going to focus on those in a relationship, looking for love, or single and happy. If you're in a relationship, honesty, it's everything. There could be something that comes to your attention because someone just didn't tell the full story and now it's coming out. I think it's better to share the truth, especially with the person that you love. This could cause, like, the only thing that can take apart this relationship is a lack of truth or integrity. That's the Fool, and that's in the possibilities. You can mute that simply by speaking up and saying, when we talked about this, I said this and this. There's a little bit more to that. I'd like to share it with you. I'm more comfortable now. I'm more confident now. And let someone know that you're telling them because you love them, because it's important, and frame it up. And I think you can get it out there. Sometimes fear holds us back from saying something that's necessary. Second chances in relationships, even in existing relationships. You have a second chance to show your commitment, your value, how much you value someone else, all of that. So that's actually quite auspicious. Taking a trip together could help. This can help kind of like with reconnecting, rekindling the flame, because it feels like for some of you, because of work, and maybe even just because you've been going every which way, there's been a little less energy in passion. So now's a chance to rekindle if you want to. If the flame is just not going anywhere, get some distance, get some perspective. You might need to get a third point of view on this, but because this could be the two of you and this can actually be a therapist, and see if you can't find a middle ground. One is very stubborn, one is kind of dismissing feelings, and that is difficult to bridge the gap between that. You might need a third party. Literally, we have 2 people, we have a bridge, we have a facilitator here. So it might be, you might be at that point. I think good things can come from this. You can turn a new page. This is transparency. That's going to help as well in that relationship. And that's what I'm picking up on for existing relationships. Let me get some water and then we'll move on to those that are looking for love.
Okay. For those that are looking for love, can you find it? Absolutely. We have Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. We have a Leo. We have fire signs coming through as well. What are you looking for? This, if I had my graphics all set up, this would be the math meme with all the stuff in the universe. So, the sky's the limit, but there may be too many options. So I would say the important thing here is discernment and really kind of looking around, because it feels like it's there if you put yourself out there. I mentioned about manifesting. There may be a lot of options, but nothing that's sparking your interest. That's okay. You can wait if you don't. There's nothing wrong with being single. The next thing that I read is single and happy for a reason. It could also be single and waiting for the right match, So I feel like if it's not there, if it's not good enough, that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong. Continue to do the inner work. And when you start to focus on other things, this opportunity may come in. It also feels like you don't have to work too hard. The Fool is someone coming into your life. I don't feel like they're fully there yet, and I'm not sure you're fully there yet either. And I'm not afraid to kind of like just call it as it is, because if it's not ready or if you're not prepared yet, like take your time. It's okay. There'll be new things coming in. There could also be someone that their age belies their personality or their outward appearance. So maybe young looking and acting, but older, or younger, but very wise. There's something interesting about that. Connected to the fire sign, slightly stubborn, slightly forward. Make sure the spark is there. And that's everything. The last thing, actually, one more thing. Take your time in getting to know someone. There's another like wrinkle in their story. There could be someone from the past that they're not fully disconnected from. There could be a child in the picture. They haven't yet fully shared all parts of themselves. So don't rush into anything. That's my main advice this week. Get to know people. All right. If you are, let's see, we're going to look at those that are single and happy next. It's a good time to be single and happy. We have a chance to travel. For some of you, speaking, we didn't talk about this too much on health, but it's a chance to really focus on getting stronger, physically stronger, mentally stronger. So I see a lot of personal growth happening right now. You could also be deciding to take up some sort of a creative hobby, painting, dancing, writing, whatever it is, allowing yourself to just go with the flow. And those are the main messages there. Taking a little bit of a closer look at your finances, making sure that you're not overspending, like I said before. All right, let's look at your destiny card, and then we'll tune in a little bit more to higher self, meditate, and we got through the reading today. Yay. All right, so the higher self here, as we're looking at the, not the higher self, but the destiny card. Access 100% of your mojo. Discover your superpower. Nicely connected to one with the sun, which was about opening up the solar plexus. So this is interesting because there can also be resistance to the superpower. It's been a minute since I've talked about it, but like when I was first thinking about quitting my corporate job, I explored a lot of different paths, but I kept having dreams about reading cards, and they started to kind of like follow me. So I would be walking the dog or just walking actually it was before Apollo. I was just walking myself to the store and back, but I would see playing cards on the ground for no apparent reason. And I kept seeing them all the time. And then one time I was at a department store in the changing room, and the Hierophant card it was in the men's changing room, just the Hierophant sitting there. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. I'll take a class on tarot. I've been wanting to learn about this, because it was too accidental. For like 2 or 3 months, everywhere I went, I saw like traditional playing cards. And then when I finally saw a tarot card as I was trying on some pants or something, I'm like, what? What? Okay. It's not just a coincidence. It shouldn't be here in a changing room in a major department store. Why is it here? And then I also had a dream. Like I had this dream that I was in Paris and part of probably like a traveling group. Maybe I was a gypsy or something, but I could see me cleaning up, and I was picking up some cards from the ground, and I know that I've done it in another lifetime. I saw that I did astrology in Etruria many years ago, but Paris was probably a lot more recent, maybe the last few hundred years. But anyway, I tuned into messages both in dreams and past life recollection, and literally when the cards were in front of me, I thought, okay, let's do it. Let's see where it goes. What have I got to lose? So sometimes we have to be hit on the head, almost figuratively, sometimes literally, to pay attention. Something's right in front of you, and pay attention to those little signs and signals. It could be a song on the radio, license plate, billboard, a phrase, a turn of a phrase that someone's using, and you keep hearing and seeing the same thing. Access it. I feel like it's right there for you folks. And when you do it, it may not be overnight. I've been doing this for 10 years, but like eventually you can turn your ship or your energy in a new trajectory, and it could be pretty exciting, right? Yeah, I did see multiple signs and I paid attention to them, and I try to pay more attention to the signs now, so that it's just easier. So if for those of you that are thinking, I don't know what I want to do for my career, for my life, what derives joy? What do you derive joy from? I should say, that was a better sentence. What brings you joy? What are you curious about? What are you inspired about? Put more energy into that, and then see if there's a way that you can graft it on what you already do. It doesn't always mean that you have to completely change your job overnight. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that there might be a way to bring this skill into what you're doing right now, or you might decide that this will be the next chapter, and you can slowly create a landing path for that. Okay, let me pull one tarot card just to kind of help you tune into that, and then we're going to do one more message from higher self. So yeah, this can be a card of investing in yourself, deciding I want to get trained, I want to go to school, I want to get some more guidance or information on that. Knight of Pentacles. And it's also you showing up, doing the work, moving it forward. When I did decide to take some classes with somebody, I think it was 13 weeks that I worked with this person, a lucky number actually. And I really liked working with them. So after like 3 months, I felt really good about it. And then I started reading with friends and family and other people. And then shyly, I started to do some stuff on Facebook and YouTube without showing my face initially. And then I was like, all right, let's just do this. I like it. And I think I have a skill for this. Let's just go for it. And then that's when things turned around, when you embrace it. So I'm all for getting the training. And it doesn't even have to be like, that wasn't going to school. That was just paying someone one-on-one. So sometimes you can just get a skill that way, apprenticeship, etc. Let's do one more card from the tarot card deck here. And this is a message from your higher self that you need to hear, even if you don't want to hear it. Three of Cups in reverse. Okay, this is super powerful. When it is reversed, it carries a different connotation. So you can't make everybody happy, folks. And you're not going to fit into every group. And sometimes people say mean things. All of these things help you align to a path that's more worthy of your time and energy. There's something out there that's a better match for you. So it hurts sometimes when someone says something cruel. It hurts when you don't get accepted into a college, school, or a job or a social group that you want. Sometimes it's for your best interest. Avoid gossip at all costs right now. Don't say, if you can't say something nice, don't say it. Full stop. It has a way of getting back. And when we're looking at things like the the Seven of Swords that came through multiple times, your reputation, your integrity, you can't really put a value on that. And it takes a long time to rebuild it if you go in the wrong direction. So don't. Okay. Let's meditate for a moment. I'm going to use the sun because we have the solar plexus energy coming through here. Close your eyes if you would. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale. Take a moment now and imagine that you are looking at the rising sun, that you are letting go of any sort of fears, anxieties, anything that you've been holding on to from the past. You're just allowing yourself to release, to be present, to let go. And as the sun starts to shine on your body, you feel an activation in all the 7 major energy points, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And for those of you that have been around someone that is slightly vampiric or needy or has taken too much, your power is always yours, and now is the moment to reclaim it. I'd like you to take 3 deep breaths. Breathing in your energy, your power, your confidence, exhaling their drama, their garbage, their nonsense. Breathing in now energy straight from source and from your higher self, knowledge, power, energy. Breathe it in. Letting go of fear, doubt, and uncertainty, all of the sort of, horses of the energy of the devil. We're letting go of that. We don't need it. It has no purpose here. And now calling forth your dream, your desire, your goal, bringing that into existence. Breathe it in. And on the exhale, letting go of any sort of feeling that it can't happen. You are worthy. You are ready. You are willing to do the work. Bring it in. Bring in that love, abundance, and opportunity that is so ready to show up. Slowly open your eyes. And I'd like you to focus now on one final question. And let's see what Spirit has to say for whatever that might be. Okay, Queen of Cups. She is reversed. As a yes or no question, this is saying it's okay to be unhappy. It's okay to not want something. It's okay to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. So validation from Spirit for your emotions. Encouragement as well from Spirit to focus on a way to constructively and productively deal with that. However you need to deal with that, now is the time to do so. This is a time to also channel your energy into productive things like any creative ventures that you might be looking at. And new love and opportunity could be knocking at the door. We've seen a lot of different potential people, King of Cups, Strength, etc. Now, Queen of Cups coming through. But there is just this question of being ready. So really focus on your heart, your energy, and make sure that you're not pushing things too far, too fast, etc. As a yes or no, it's a nuanced question. It's a yes, comma, but only if you want to and only if it feels right. But you can do it. When you get a Queen card, you've got this. But if you're unhappy, or if you don't want to do this, or if it doesn't feel right, honor that. You really need to listen to the heart this week, and that's why we got the heart and the feather coming through on that Judgment card. All right, let me take a look now. I'm going to clear the deck here, and we're going to take a couple moments here just to share gratitude. I just want to say thanks to everybody for your flexibility. You know that I've been doing daily reads for probably 2.5 years, almost 3 years. I don't miss them. If I do miss them, it's because I'm tired or I'm sick. And it's just been an intense few weeks here. So I appreciate your flexibility. And I do try to lead by example. And if I'm too tired, if I'm not well, nothing good's going to come of that anyway. So I just take a break today. And I knew we had this collective, so you can get that energy of today from today's reading, which was 5 of Pentacles, which was nicely connected with like taking a break, taking a nap, etc. So thanks for your patience on the technology. It's a lot. I've been able to sometimes do it all, in a night or in 4 hours. I couldn't do it last night. Part of it is because I also needed to redo all of my equipment because when I was at the temporary space, I noticed some mold and mildew on some of the items. So I had to completely get rid of all my lighting, all my cameras, all my mics. It's a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money. So this has been intense, more so than I usually say. So that's why. So thank you for understanding. We're getting there. And I feel like sunny days are ahead, right? All right. So let's go ahead now. And I'd like to give a little bit of gratitude for those that gave back. And I'll figure out the gifting next week. All right. So looking at the newest members, let's see what's going on here once this tab opens up. By the way, I just want to say thanks to everybody for showing up. If you want to follow me on social media, it's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. I don't offer private readings, and I don't use direct messages. So if anybody does that, please block and report. Always stay safe. All right, let's see what's going on here with the newest members. Okay, whether you just joined or were gifted a membership or rejoined, I'm going to welcome you all. So thank you to Donna, Heather, Real American, Lashandia, sorry, Summer, Linda, Alyssa, Samalina, 62 and Sunny, Elif, I think it is, Radamani, hopefully I got that right, Amali, Jane, Canadian Lavender, and Iris. Thank you guys and welcome. I'm going to take a moment to say thanks to those that gifted as well in just a second, if I can pull it open. Before I do that, we'll do super stickers first. So super stickers and super chat today, which by the way, thank you so much. putting it all back into equipment and studio, as you can see. So it helps a lot. So thank you. Amitabha, Bernadette. Thank you, Bernadette, for that extra amount too. I appreciate it. Lori, Shelly, Sathya, PJ2457, Water Girl, Lucy, Jeannie, Monica, and Jordan. You guys rock. Thank you very much. All right, let me open this up. Sorry, a little bit of echoing there. Okay, so I have to open up a tab here just to see fan funding. And let me see here if I can magically, now I can give back. So for those that stuck around, I'm gifting 5. Thank you for sticking around for the thank yous and a little bit of extra love and support to everybody that did. There you go. All right, now taking a look at all of this. Okay, and Walk, thank you for 9 months of membership. You rock, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed the deck as well. Much appreciation. Let's see. Kathy Smith, 14 months of membership. Thank you very much. Misha, 53 months. You might be among one of the longest members here on the channel. That's outstanding. I can't even kind of do the math. That's a lot of years. So thank you for being here and for watching me kind of grow and continue to change and doing the same as well. My honor to be here. Lori, 12 months. Happy 1-year anniversary. Thank you very much. Sarah, also 29 months. Amazing. And I appreciate you showing up and your positivity as well. Colette, thank you for gifting 5 memberships today. That's so amazing, and welcome to everybody new that was gifted from her. Same thing with Bernadette. Thank you very much. Sammy, 23 months, just shy of 2 years. Thank you very much for showing up. Let's see. Lucy, gifting a membership. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your generosity. Rafaela, just 1 month shy of 1 year. Thanks for the congratulations, and thank you for being here. And I think Dorinda just joined as well, or Drinda, sorry, just joined. Thank you. And Jordan and Monica, Jeannie, I think after I was saying all of the thank yous, also gave back as well. If I missed anybody, apologies, but I just want to say thanks for being a part of this community, for being supportive, for continuing to work on yourself, sending you lots of love and light. We'll be more buttoned up next week. It's kind of fun, right, to change it up. And this has been a year of change. So let's embrace it, and we'll get through this Mercury retrograde together. Once I get my equipment together, maybe I'll do a live stream on that in this upcoming week. I'll do something maybe members first, but open to everybody so members can ask some questions. I've just been waiting to get set up. So I got to get my 2 cameras together. But once I get that and fix this mic situation, we'll be good. Lots of love and light. Let me pull Apollo up for a second. All of you always ask, how's Apollo? I'm going to change it so you guys can see him a little bit better. But there he is, Sleeping Beauty. Wishing you guys all the best. Lots of love from both Apollo and I. Aw, thanks, buddy. We'll see you soon, okay? Thank you very much.